Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Let me adjust this. Hold on. Should have handled all of this before I came on, but things want to slip and slide now that I'm on. All right, guys. So listen, there's something I want to share with you all, and I'm going to give the credit. Okay, this is from, I was listening to a video that Pastor Albert Amara was doing, and one of the things that he said in that video that stood out to me, he was talking, the video was about something else, but he said there is no tenure in Christ. There's no tenure in this walk as Christians, okay? And I was like, wow, and I've decided that I'm just going to piggyback off of that, my brothers and sisters, and talk about that, because a lot of times as Christians, people want to put how long they've been saved and their tenure, and they want to pull seniority, they want to pull rank and saying, I've been saved longer than you, so you can't say nothing to me. You just got saved, so you can't be used like this. They also like to compare sins, okay? When someone is transparent enough to share their lives and the things that they've gone through, well, now they want to compare themselves to say, well, your sin was worse than my sin, or based on this sin, you can only be used this way, or, God can never use you because of what you've done. And none of that is scriptural or biblical. God used murderers, okay? God used dishonest men to do his work. God has used, listen, Rahab the harlot is in the lineage of Christ. Okay, and if I'm correct, I think Rahab had Boaz, and Boaz ended up having, Rahab was Boaz's mother. Okay, and Boaz married Ruth, and they brought some pretty good people down the line. Okay, so don't allow people to look at you and try to pull rank. Okay, pull rank is something. I'm ex-military. I retired, and people will pull rank. I'm higher ranking than you are, so at ease. Which is basically shut it up, lock it up. Hey, come on. But guess what? No, that's not gonna work. That don't work in our walk with Christ. So people tend to feel like listen. This just came to mind. People feel like they have tenure and they have the right, even in some cases, now they're in the retirement years. They're in the retirement stages of ministry because they've been saved since they were 15 years old, and now they're like 65, 70. So they feel like they can slow down a little bit and just enjoy life because, I put my time in with the Lord. Your time never ends. Your time ends when either the Lord comes back or you go on to glory. And that's where you hope you go. Okay? There's no tenure. There's nothing that says I've done my share now. Y'all could come up and do this and follow in my footsteps and I can chill right now. No, we got to run this race fervently. Okay? We got to run this race. We got to keep going. But my brothers and sisters, there's no such thing, that there's rank and there's tenure between, well, who's a prophet versus who's a deacon, the deacon versus the bishop versus the pastor, and I'm higher ranking. People have created these little ranks and stuff because there's a need to feel important. Come on, a lot of these people, this is a joke, but I got to put it out there. A lot of times, let me tell you, people get in church and do stuff, but on the outside, they ain't nobody, okay? I know that's true, but I'm talking about the ones that's in there acting up. Outside of all that acting up, they run around and doing all this stuff because only in this environment are they, they got any type of whatever. But outside of that, they ain't nobody, okay? And I hate to put it like that, but people that are in the church and they are mistreating folks and they're doing all types of stuff. A lot of times you're going to find out, one, they used to get beat up when they were young. Okay, used to get straight mushed at the bus stop. Okay, this is me saying that. They have no say at home a lot of times. Okay, and listen, they ain't nobody outside of church. So then what happens is when God puts them into the church, because some of them don't even belong in there, but when God puts them in a position because okay, you don't have to have anything, okay? God can call you poor with nothing and call you to a position. But what happens is they get inside their flesh, and instead of seeing that God has placed this ministry in their hand to do his work as a servant of the Lord, they begin to go into their own little insecurities and their own little areas of rejection and things like that. So because they're not being led by the Lord, they start to just destroy the ministry, destroy people, because guess what? They are looking at it like they cause the ministry and maybe the accolades and things to make them. It's like it's their everything. So they want to be selfish. They want to be controlling. They want to be manipulating. They are jealous and they don't feel confident in having others that can do more than them. And so they just destroy stuff. Okay, so that's why I say outside this, you ain't nobody, because then you come in here and you acting crazy and you holding on to the church like it's your precious and holding on to people and trying to control folks. Okay, no. All right, so there is no tenure in Christ. God can use the person that he saved. Now, granted, you want to come in and you want to get your teachings and things like that, but let me tell you, a lot of times the gifts that God and the anointing that God has put on people, it's within them already. It's already there. Okay, and in God's timing, he will bring it out. It's not your timing. It's not my timing. I can't and you cannot, and we should not be telling people, well, you just got saved, so you need to sit on to me or sit on to brother so-and-so or sister so-and-so until at least this, and then we'll check back. No. You got to realize that people already comes with the gifts within them. Okay? There's a diamond inside, and they have already been pre-selected, preordained, pre-justified. Okay? God pre-approved by the Lord. So they come to church, but I'm trying to tell you, the church is not what it is, or your group or your people or your circle is not what's going to bring out anything in that person. God is going to bring out the anointing and the gifts in that person in his time. So you may say, oh, it's going to take you about a year or two, but God may say, no, it's only going to take 3 months. I want to start using this person. Oh, well, they haven't gone through enough or whatever. Let me tell you something. In the Bible, a lot of the great men that the Lord used, he used them right away. He just called them and said, come on, follow me. And as they follow the Lord, that's getting in the presence of the Lord. That's getting into your word. That's getting into your worship and your praise. Okay, church and the word and church, not the word, but church and gathering with the saints, that's supplementary. But that's not what's going to bring out what's within you. So I'm trying to tell you that he told the sons of Zebedee, come on, follow me. He told Matthew, the tax collector, he's in the middle of work, follow me. When he called David was out there tending sheep. And I don't think his family was poor, but they definitely were not, royalty or anything like that. Okay, as a matter of fact, and even Saul, well, no one called Saul, but Saul was the least of people, but the people wanted Saul. But let's skip by Saul. David was anointed and called by the Lord. David was tending his sheep, living a simple life. Okay, and when he called him, he used them he used the simplicity of things. He didn't have on the armor, and he didn't have all this other stuff that a true warrior would have. But he went with the things that he knew and the things that he used while he was out in the field. A slingshot. He was able to stop a bear. He was able to stop a lion from eating the sheep from attacking the sheep that he was tending. So what I'm saying is your gifts are already in you, in what you're doing before you get called. You understand that? They're already there, my brothers and sisters. So when God calls somebody in, stop trying to pull rank. Stop talking about tenure. Stop trying to hinder people because, well, they haven't been saved long enough, so there's no way God can use them in this way, or we can't put you in this position because according to us, you used to be a drunkard and a wife beater, so you can't do this or that. When God changes somebody, you got to understand that the trials and the things that that person is going through, even in their phases of walking as an unbeliever, their walk and the things that they're going through before they come to Christ is a part of the preparation and what God is going to use as a sword to help them go and save other people. So they're already qualified. They're already qualified. They come to church to fellowship. They come to church to fellowship, yes, okay? But the church and you and your rules, or whether you're in church or not, there's people who's outside of church. You could have a home church. You cannot, in your home church, an actual organized church, your group, whatever, one-on-one, you cannot hinder somebody and try to say, well, you know, use rank and how long you've been saved. Why they can't tell you nothing. You can't give me a word. Well, how is it that Eli was able to give, Samuel was able to give Eli a word, and the word was a word telling him that him and his house was about to go down? How long has Eli was a grown and known prophet before Samuel was even born. So what I'm trying to tell you, my brothers and sisters, is there is no tenure. There is no tenure in this walk. We cannot measure ourselves against one another by how long we've been saved, or how long someone else was not saved, where they came from, what their background is, what they can say, what they cannot say, what they can do, what they cannot do. We cannot box God in. And a lot of times, sometimes it's not even somebody telling you that. You're telling yourself that. God is telling you something to do and you're going, well, God, I haven't been saved in long. Lord, how can I tell people about this? I'm poor. I'm broke. I don't have anything. I used to do this and that. Don't be like, listen, Moses did that. Moses was that same way. When God called him, he was talking about how he was slow of speech. He's not as smart, all these different things. Everyone had an excuse for why they could not do it. But my brothers and sisters, God is calling us to a place to move forward and to do the things that he has called us to do. So listen, there is no tenure in Christ. There is no tenure in your walk with the Lord. We are here to encourage one another. We are here to uplift one another. We're here, yes, to correct one another. If our brother and sister is going the wrong way, we need to correct. We need to, encourage one another and bring each other up and say, listen, this is wrong. This is not the right way to do things. That's okay. But what you are not supposed to do, my brothers and sisters, is try to say, well, I've been saved this long or longer than you, then that gives me the right to kind of override you, ignore you, tell you what to do, hamper you because you need to follow me because I've been walking this longer than you. Nah, that's not how God does it. We are all sitting under the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And when he says to move out, when he says to follow me, when he says to cast your net, then that's what we do. Regardless of how long we think we've known him or how little we think we know about the Lord. He knows all things. And all we have to do is be like a child and follow him. All right, guys? Peace out.